Hello, I am Luis Arribas. I work at the Wind Energy Unit at CIEMAT, and I'm here to give you this welcome to the course on mini-wind technology. In general, wind technology makes use of the kinetic energy of the wind. This technology has been used for many centuries, almost millennia indeed, although in early days it was used for mechanical applications. Its use on sailing ships and in windmills, of course, is well known. However, during the last 100 years or so, there has been a boom in the use of wind power to produce electricity.
Actualmente, podríamos decir que durante el último siglo se ha producido el aprovechamiento de la energía eólica para producir electricidad.
In recent decades, in certain countries, this technology has drawn much attention and is now used in very large applications, such as on wind farms. And more recently, some wind farms have even been set up off the coasts of some countries.
En algunos países en concreto se está haciendo un gran esfuerzo por desarrollar las aplicaciones de gran potencia en el mar.
Wind turbines are perhaps the best known example of this technology for the generation of electricity, but they are not the only one. There is another, which involves electricity production using the wind, but at smaller scale, what we commonly call mini-wind technology. So, with all that I have said in mind, the aim of this course is for students to become familiar with the technology when used at small scale. In particular, we should be looking at the use of mini-wind systems in Latin American and Caribbean countries. So what do we need to familiarize ourselves with this mini technology? Well, first, it is possible to distinguish three large areas of knowledge. On one hand, we need to be knowledgeable about electricity generation with wind technology, and we must have some basic notions about aerodynamics, such as the theory of profiles or the Betz limit. These are simple issues for us to be able to understand how to take advantage of this natural resource. Then we need to know about the various components of a wind turbine, such as the electricity generator, the power electronics, and so on. These elements are common to any form of generating electricity from the wind. And within this block, addressing the technology of energy generation by the wind, because we are dealing with small-scale installations, we need to have special knowledge of the peculiarities and particularities of this mini-technology in comparison with larger-scale enterprises. There are indeed many particularities, because although both generate power from the wind, the fact that mini-wind systems are small-scale means that some of the solutions available are not suitable for larger-scale operations. This would therefore be the first part to be addressed, that of wind technology and the particular case of small-scale wind turbines.
El segundo gran bloque que necesitamos conocer es el viento. Estamos produciendo electricidad a partir del viento, necesitamos conocer el viento.
The second large block of information that we must attend to has to do with the wind itself. Since we are dealing with electricity produced by the wind, we must have a thorough knowledge of how the wind behaves. This block contains two main possibilities. One is a measure of wind resources, performing measurements with a wind sonde on a tower, using anemometers and measuring devices, and finally data analysis for emplacement. This is the usual way to characterize wind resources for large wind farms, but it is not so common in small-scale operations. However, it is important to know about all these aspects, so they will be addressed in the course. Another way to gain insight into wind resources is through the use of wind maps. These are widely used across the world, and we shall look at both how the information provided by these maps is analyzed and where such maps can be obtained. With this, we shall have a second large block. We know the technology, we know the wind, and it only remains for us to see where we are to place our small wind turbine, where we will connect our mini plant to, and in which type of system. Information about this block is important because the system affects the behavior of small generators dramatically. It is certainly not the same to connect a small turbine to the grid as connecting it to a pump system or connecting it to a battery. Therefore, in this part, we shall analyze the components forming part of the system to which we are going to connect our mini wind turbine. Typically, these include batteries, electronic power components, and other devices. All this should help us to understand how to scale the system and select the wind generator most suitable for our purposes. We shall also be looking at the basic rules for being able to calculate the energy generated by a turbine. So, with the above, we have the 3 blocks necessary for us to familiarize ourselves with mini wind technology. And finally, we have the last block, which is the use of mini wind power in Latin American and the Caribbean region. We shall review the possibilities available for manufacturing and installing such devices, and how to characterize the wind in the region. With this, I hope we shall have covered all the main points concerning the use of small wind turbines in the region.
Con ello habremos completado, espero, una revisión completa de la tecnología mini eólica en esta región. Así que con esto ya termino. Solo me queda desearos.
I hope you will be able to enjoy the fruits of this course and take this opportunity to thank all of you for your time.